Jets Ward.
ETS Jets. What is going on, Jet fans? And welcome back to another episode of the Jets Ward. I am your host, Ryan Ward, and I'm so excited to be back with you guys today. A lot of moves have been happening in the NFL. A lot of players have been getting waived. A lot of players have been getting picked up on waivers. A lot of players have been making it through waivers and signing contracts on practice squads. The Jets have lost a couple of their players. Donovan Edwards is now a Commander, so congratulations to the Commanders. I think you're going to like him a lot. He was a solid running back for us. I wish him the best over there. Carter Warren is going to the Falcons. Good depth offensive lineman tackle for them. Malachi Corley made it through waivers, and now he is a Cleveland Brown. So Cole Strange as well made it through waivers for the Patriots, is now a Cleveland Brown. A lot of players that I thought were going to get picked up pretty quickly on waivers have made it through and are now getting picked up on practice squads. And we're starting to see how these practice squads and these 53-man rosters are coming together before the NFL season starts. Not too much longer now, guys. But I wanted to talk to you guys today because the Jets claimed 3 players from the practice squad, 3 exciting players that I'm really happy to talk to you guys about, and made a really shocking wide receiver move that I'm not going to lie to you guys. You heard me in my live stream the other night talking about how I don't like how Jamal Pritchett, Quentin Skinner, and Brandon Smith didn't make this roster. They deserved it. And a player like Xavier Gipson made it. There was another shocking decision today that I did not like, and I don't think a lot of Jets fans liked either. But getting into it, the Jets, like I said, claimed 3 players off of waivers, and I'm really excited about these players. The first one that I want to talk to you guys about is a guy named Asa Pohl, offensive tackle from the Kansas City Chiefs. He is a rookie. He's 24 years old. He's 6'7", 319 pounds. He is a monster, and he played very, very well this preseason. Not letting up. I don't believe he let up a sack. Not a lot of pressures either. The guy was dominant, and it was looking like Pohl actually made it through waivers from what I saw earlier in the day. And Chiefs fans were elated. They were shocked that he made it through. They were happy. He's coming back on the practice squad. And no, he was told afterwards that he was claimed by the New York Jets, and now he is a Jet, and I am so happy about it. The guy has shown so much potential, and I can understand why we let Carter Warren go now. And Max Mitchell might not be that much further behind. Aaron Glenn came out and said that Pohl is a work in progress, that they want to build and help him work and get better and better. But the guy looked very, very good in training camp for the Chiefs and in the preseason. So I'm very excited to see what we get out of him. I hope he doesn't get put on the practice squad because he would just get snatched up right away. Put him on the 53-man roster and work with him. That's what I think they're going to do. But again, really excited to get this young kid in here. Very, very pumped. Chiefs fans, sorry that you're upset. Hey, we've been there before. You guys have Brownlee on your team. Jets fans are still pissed off about losing on the waiver wire. So you guys got a good one there. It's our time to take a great player from you guys, and I really, really think Pohl can be a solid lineman in this league. Good backup right now, could become a good starter down the line. Maybe bump him into guard if we do lose one of our guards at the end of the season. But I really like this player and glad the Jets ended up getting him. The next one, though, that the Jets got was somebody that I am very, very excited for. And I want to shout out Connor Long as well. Him and his sources were talking about the Jets having interest in this player, and it broke that the Jets claimed Jelani Woods, tight end from the Indianapolis Colts. He's 26 years old. He's 6'7", 253 pounds, has 1 year experience, but you're going to see that he was drafted in 2022, which means he's been in the league for 3 years. His rookie season didn't look bad, but the last 2 years, he's been sidelined with injuries. He has not played in 2 years. Injuries have affected this young man really, really badly because when he's on the field, he is very fast for his height. He's 6'7", so he's a monster of a man out there already. But he runs a 4.6 40 as well, so he's pretty quick, and he's utilized as a great receiving weapon. Not much of a blocker, but Aaron Glenn came out today and said that Jelani Woods was picked up to help in the receiving game and the blocking game. If they can get this big man to become a force in the run game, which I think we're going to be running the ball a ton with our offense, then the Jets could have a pretty good solid duo of tight ends with Mason Taylor and Jelani Woods. And now you have to ask the question, who gets cut? The Stone Smart, who we just signed this offseason, get waived and put on the practice squad? Or does Jeremy Ruckert get cut? In all honesty, Stone Smart showed out this offseason. I think he deserves to be on this team. Jeremy Ruckert hasn't proven anything. He didn't do much in the games and training camp. Aaron Glenn hyped him up, but Jeremy Ruckert hasn't proved a damn thing. So he would be the one that I think would be cut. And you could even look at what Jelani Woods has. He was a round 3 pick 73 by the Indianapolis Colts. This preseason, he had 7 receptions, 75 yards, 0 touchdowns, 10.7 average yards per play. So the guy is quick. He can get open. He can be a matchup nightmare with his size and his speed, and could be a red zone target as well. So if he can stay healthy, and that's a big, big if, because he hasn't been able to prove it the last 2 years. We're banking on his health. If he can stay healthy, he could be a solid weapon in this offense, in my opinion. All right? And I know Colts fans are not happy about losing him too. They had a lot of faith in this kid. But he can be a very good player. With that size and those metrics and the speed that he has, great receiver option, needs to work on the blocking, but I think he could be very good. Automatically, I would put him in as tight end 2 behind Mason Taylor and just let those guys get it. But that was the second guy that we claimed. Third guy, and I'd love to hear your guys' opinions about this player, is Cam Jones. We got him off the Chiefs practice squad or the Chiefs waiver wire as well. 25 years old. He's 6'2", 227 pounds. Been in the league for 3 years. This offseason, this preseason games, he had 4 solo tackles, nothing else, no interceptions, no fumble recoveries, no forced fumbles, no sacks. He is predominantly a special teams player and showed out on the Kansas City Chiefs special teams this offseason. Now, as we know, Jets fans, we had Jamarcus Weston, who is designated for short-term IR, who dominated on special teams for us this offseason. So these two are very similar players, and I'm interested to see who we end up keeping after Jamarcus Weston comes back, because he looks like he's going to be making this roster. And does Cam Jones get cut or put on the practice squad? But for right now, Cam Jones has been picked up by the New York Jets. Happy to have him here. Shows a lot of athleticism, great on special teams, could be a very good special team player for the New York Jets. But we claimed these 3 players. We needed to cut or waive 3 players to open up spots for these guys. Now, Asa Pohl, tackle, lineman, extra lineman. We got rid of Marquise Hayes, who we had on the 53-man roster. He was waived. Another player, Barnes, the linebacker. Zaire Barnes, linebacker. He was waived to make room for Cam Jones. But the last one irks me so much because I think it has been – I love this new regime. I love Muji. I love the trades he made to get defensive tackles, Harrison Phillips and Juwan Briggs in here to beef up this run game. I love that Muji re-signed Jamien Sherwood right off the bat. Extended Garrett Wilson, extended Sauce Gardner, has been getting these guys ready to go. AG firing them up. Fiery against the media too. I think it's if we don't win, it's going to get really old very quickly. But I'm interested to see what it is now, especially when he puts Rich Cimini in his place. But the wide receiver room has been one of the biggest critiques that I've had for this New York Jets regime, for Muji and for AG. The 53-man roster that the Jets had, and I still have Cam Jones, and I'll move this real quick because I'll put myself on the screen. 53-man roster. The Jets had, I believe, 6 receivers. Garrett Wilson, obviously, our number one. They had Josh Reynolds, who we brought in this offseason, who knows the system, played with Detroit Lions, Broncos, knows both Muji and Aaron Glenn, so he knows the system already. Alan Lazard, who we thought was going to be put on short-term IR, has not. Okay, wide receiver 3 right there. Could be trade bait. Arian Smith, rookie, we drafted. We had Tyler Johnson from the Rams, who we signed this offseason, who I thought looked very good this offseason and in the preseason games. One of our better receivers. He would have, to me, been wide receiver 3. Xavier Gibson made the team. We caught Malachi Corley. He is now a Brown, like I said. But today, the New York Jets decided we needed to waive 3 players to make room for these guys. I told you Barnes, and we waived Hayes. The other player we waived was Tyler Johnson, which I have no freaking idea why. I do not know what these Jets are doing with their receiver room. Could a big trade be coming in? Cool. Jacoby Myers? Well, he requested a trade. Apparently, Raiders are not giving it to him. They don't want him to be traded, and he's still showing up to the tryouts, to practices. So it's not looking like they're going to be willing to trade him. Adam Thielen, he got traded back to the Minnesota Vikings. Tim Patrick, who the Jets were apparently in on, or rumored to want, he got traded to the Jaguars. Romeo Doubs, Packers don't look like they're going to be trading him. We have been, in my opinion, fumbling the bag with this receiver room. Garrett Wilson is great. I love that we extended him. But are you really going to tell me that this receiver room right now is good enough? And I had Jets fans coming to me and being like, well, you want to start the young guys. You want to play the young guys. Which young guys? Arian Smith, I get. I honestly do. I get that one. You want to see what he can do. The speed is great. Biggest issue was his hands coming out of college. But he's proven that he could be really good. That his hands are solid. He looked good in the games. What other young receiver are you going to take a look at? Xavier Gibson? He hasn't proven anything. You kick punt returner? Cool. He muffs so many punts, and he basically makes awful decisions with fair catches that he is not a suitable punt returner. But you had players like that. Jamal Pritchett ended up back on the practice squad. I loved that guy. I thought he outplayed a lot of these receivers that we have still on the roster. I think he outplayed Xavier Gibson. Quentin Skinner, who was on our practice squad, outplayed a ton of these guys. Brandon Smith, who was a monster in training camp and practiced and did great in the training camp game or the preseason games. Practice squad player. So when you come at me and say, play the young guys, I'd be all for that. What young guys? Garrett Wilson is going to play no matter what. Josh Reynolds is not young. Alan Lazard is not young. And both Josh Reynolds and Alan Lazard are injury prone. Alan Lazard is also a penalty machine. Tyler Johnson was one of your better receivers that you had. And nobody really knew what he was because he never got an opportunity for the Rams. Arian Smith, okay, I'll take that one. We can see what we have with him and hope that he becomes a legit threat, deep threat. Xavier Gibson hasn't shown anything. And it also doesn't make sense with AG, and I know I'm going off on a little tangent because I want to get to what the practice squad looks like so far. But it does not make sense to me when Aaron Glenn comes in the first press conference and in all these press conferences after, saying that it's a competition. Every player is competing. But then you have players ball out like a Brandon Smith, a Quentin Skinner, a Jamal Pritchett. They ball out and get relegated to the practice squad, get waived. While players that they beat out, that they looked better than, and I'm focusing on Jamal Pritchett here. because this one really irked me. Because I like Quentin Skinner. I love Brandon Smith. But Jamal Pritchett was a monster in the receiving game and in the punt return game. Because we know Kene Iguanu is going to be our kick returner. Jamal Pritchett did very well. He looked great in the Eagles game, and he looked solid throughout training camp and preseason. It just bothers me because what they say about the best players will get the spots doesn't compute here. Because you can't tell me Xavier Gipson outplayed Jamal Pritchett. And AG came out and said today in his press conference that Xavier Gipson with the ball in his hands can be electric or something along the lines of that. Well, every time I've seen him with the balls in his hands, it's either a fumble, a muffed punt, a fair catch, or a drop. Because he proves nothing in the receiver game, hasn't shown anything. And punting back there, all Jets fans take a deep breath when he's back there because you don't know what he's going to do. So I get he's an undrafted receiver. And I was talking to a couple Jets fans earlier, and a lot of them are upset with it, with Xavier Gipson being here. Others are like, just, dude, let them go with it. They are the coaches and the GM. They know what they're talking about. And I get that. I'm just a guy yelling at a screen because I'm upset that my favorite team didn't do what I thought was best for them. And that's okay. We all have our opinions. Like I say all the time, in the Jets world is a safe space to show your opinions. That's why I love when I comment on other teams' players, and those fans come in and talk to me about what they see, because I could be wrong. I watch these players from afar, but they're in close watching these guys. And I'll go back to the Hendon Hooker comments that I was thinking about wanting him to come in as our third string quarterback or practice squad quarterback. All of the Lions fans came out and said, he's awful. You don't know what you're talking about. He's bad. And I appreciate them coming in here, because this isn't just for Jets fans here. I might be a Jets fan, but this is for all fans. Everybody's welcome here in the Jets world. And you can share your opinions, and I appreciate all that. I didn't want this to turn into a rant, but honestly, this is one of the big decisions right now that I have been unhappy with Aaron Glenn and Darren Mucci, the wide receiver room. Because you keep saying you want to win this year, you want to win now, you want to win now. This is a team that's built to win. That wide receiver room, other than Garrett Wilson, doesn't scare anybody. Unless you're going to have Breece Hall play receiver, because Aaron Glenn came out in one practice and talked about how we're going to utilize Breece Hall as a receiving option. So maybe Breece Hall becomes a receiver. That would be interesting. But I just don't get it. Unless a big move is down the pipeline coming soon, what could that pipeline be? Or what could that move be? Are you going to go after Kendrick Bourne, who was requested his release from the Patriots? Are you going to go with Javon Baker, who the Patriots just waived, who has a lot of talent, who they drafted last year? Could definitely do that. I think Javon Baker could be a solid option, still young, fits what the Jets are going to do here. I think he's a solid blocker too and can be explosive. Kendrick Bourne deals with too many injuries, could still be good, but I don't know. What do? Do you trade for a Jordan Addison? Because now the Vikings have Adam Thielen and Justin Jefferson, and Naylor's still there. Do you try to get Jordan Addison, even though he's suspended for the first 3 games? I don't know. Do you try to go back after Olave? That was a rumor. What do you do at this wide receiver room? Because you can't tell me that going into the season, and I know they could bring Tyler Johnson up the week 1 to play him. But you can't tell me right now that this receiver room, even if they brought Tyler Johnson up, is scaring anybody. Garrett Wilson will be double-teamed. They'll load the box to stop any run. Justin Fields, that's a big point too. How are you going to see what you got in Justin Fields if you don't give him any weapons? Garrett Wilson's a great weapon, but if he's getting double-teamed, it's going to be pretty hard to get him the ball. Mason Taylor, you don't know what you have in him. He's a rookie. Jelani Woods, great potential, but injured. Hasn't played in 2 years. Breece Hall, he could be very good coming out of the backfield, receiving the ball. But if he's going to be a target too, it's going to be hard for him. Braylon Allen, looks great during preseason and in preseason games, training camp. If they're loading the box, it's going to be hard for these guys to run. So what are we going to do? Are we going to try to score 14 points in a game like we did with the Saleh years and hope that our defense can hold them to 10? I don't know. I don't like what we're doing with the receiving room. I apologize for going on a large rant. I really do, and I appreciate you guys if you're sticking around for this part. But getting into the last part of what I want to talk to you guys, because we got to Cam Jones, guy that we picked up on the waiver wire. But looking at our practice squad right now. So on the practice squad right now, the Jets have Dean Clark, safety, who looked very, very good this offseason. Jordan Clark, who I'm really happy is back. Thought he was going to make the 53-man roster, but happy he is back. Brady Cook, who looks like he can be a solid quarterback in the future, solid backup quarterback. We're going to keep working with him. Tyler Johnson, who, like I said, not happy he's on the practice squad. Think he should be on the 53-man roster. I think it's a weird thing unless we are going for a big receiver trade or move coming up. Got Cole Laval, offensive lineman, who looked pretty good this offseason. Harrison Mavis, the thicker kicker, which is pretty cool. Jamal Pritchett, who I think could be very good in this league. Jackson Sermon, who did very good on special teams this offseason. Quentin Skinner, who was always open and did very, very good. Boog Smith, solid linebacker prospect. Brandon Smith, a player that I love as a receiver, was a monster in training camp and in the preseason games. Eric Watts, a Michael Clemens duplicate type of player, but I think Aaron Glenn can work with him. I think that defense, we can get him right because he does have a lot of tenacity on that edge. And Leander Vigon, he is going through the international portal. So basically his spot does not count. So the Jets can still add a couple more players to the practice squad. Technically, you're supposed to have 16. The Jets can technically hold 17 with Vigon on the practice squad. And he's a monster of a lineman as well. So this is our practice squad. There could still be changes coming down the pipeline. I'm hoping the Jets go with a receiver. I'm really hoping they find somebody because we've been interested in the wide receiver market. Let's make a play for somebody. I think it would be a great move for the Jets to add a legit wide receiver too, because then I'd be okay. Get another weapon for Garrett Wilson, and let's see what we got. Let's see what we got in this offense. I think it could be very exciting, but you're not scaring anybody with the receiver room we have now and the potential we have in the tight end room. Offensive line is great. Defensive line is great. Edge rushers. We could use another one. There's still some players out there that you could bring in, but suitable. Linebackers, I'm happy with. Francisco Mauigoa can shock some people as an outside linebacker. Or if you move him into the middle and move Jamie Sherwood on the outside, that could be pretty interesting. Cornerback room, I love it. DB's room, I'm really happy with. It's just the receiver room and tight end room that I'm nervous about. And we made a move to bring in a tight end with a lot of potential, which is cool. But that receiver room is very, very thin. So I'm really hoping that a wide receiver move is coming down the line. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. I apologize for going on a giant rant in this one. If you stuck with it and kept watching, I appreciate it. I love you guys. Again, it is a safe space here. We all can share our opinions. Any other fans who come in here and see this, you are always welcome here. I appreciate you all. Thank you so much, guys, for joining me in the JETS Jets Ward. Thank you, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.